Hey everybody, what's up? Fred McKinnon here with eComCatalyst. Today I'm going to talk about something that no one in e-commerce world wants to talk about because let's face it, we all hate it. It's disgusting. To us, it's the R word, returns. Nobody likes it, right? But it's part of doing business. Whether you're an Amazon seller, you're selling on your own direct-to-consumer site like Shopify, or even if you're brick and mortar retail, it's part of doing business, returns. Now, in e-commerce world, returns is a whole different animal. And on Amazon specifically, because of their liberal, very, very generous customer-friendly return policy, especially for Prime members, it's a big deal, okay? And this is an area for Amazon sellers or for any e-commerce seller, or for that matter, even retailers in brick and mortar, where your margin is getting devoured and eaten away, and many of us don't pay attention to it. Now, in this video, I'm hoping that I'm gonna be able to dip into there, into your bank, and grab some money and pull it back and help save you a little bit of money by talking about some ways you can save just a little bit on your returns, at least on Amazon. All right, before I get into that, just a quick backup again. My name's Fred McKinnon. Now, I'm the founder of eComCatalyst at eComCatalyst.com. We're a full service marketing agency that helps people just like you who have brands and they're manufacturing products that want to scale their products profitably through their e-commerce channels. That's why we exist. Now, I've also been a seller on these platforms for over 20 years with over $100 million of revenue under my belt. And a lot of people ask, well, hey man, if this guy's really done that, then why is he making YouTube videos? Well, honestly, I love it. I really enjoy it. I kind of have a teacher's heart. It's one of my strengths to get on here and communicate, but also it's a great opportunity for me to introduce myself to you and also introduce our agency to you. But that being said, I honestly love the thought of helping other people just like you. All right, so let's get into how you can save some money. I'm going to tell you the biggest way here toward the end of the video, but before we get into that, I want to talk about Amazon specifically, and let's go through some of the ways that you're bleeding money on Amazon when it comes to returns, okay? Number one, on Amazon, when there is a return, whether it be merchant fulfilled, meaning that you shipped it to a customer, they request to return it, and then they send it back to you, or FBA, fulfilled by Amazon. Now, in FBA, you've already shipped your inventory to Amazon. They fulfilled it, shipped it to the customer for you, and the customer service is all going back and forth with the customer and Amazon. You're not involved in that, but FBA customer returns also come back and slap you in the face, okay? Because there's return shipping charges, all right? Now, for Amazon customers, if they're honest about the reason they're returning the product, then in many cases, depending on certain criteria that they choose, they actually don't get a prepaid label. They have to pay the label themselves. A lot of Amazon customers are not honest about it. Like, for example, if you say, I changed my mind, Amazon's typically not giving you a prepaid label. That's your fault. You changed your mind. Why should I have to pay for that? Most people, however, already know this, and their conscience is seared because they just say, oh, the item was defective, or it arrived too late, or the item wasn't as described, or they'll choose one of these reasons that sometimes is legitimate and honest and true, many times is not, so that they don't have to pay for return shipping. So when that happens, they get a free label. But you and I know that nothing is free, right? You pay for that label. When's the last time you went into your Amazon disbursement and you looked at all those zillions of line items and you looked for what you're being charged for return shipping labels? Okay, that's where you're losing a lot of money. Return shipping labels. Look at your Amazon statement for that and you can find it and you can see exactly what's happening. And what's crazy is sometimes it costs, $6 or $7 to ship something out. And then when the customer returns it, Amazon's charging you $13 for return postage. Go figure that out. So on these returns, in most cases, the seller is responsible for the return postage. All right, that eats into your margin big time. All right, number two, Amazon, regardless of the return postage, has something called a refund administration, all right? Now, that's not huge, but they're not going to process this return and use their manpower and use what they do to do this for the customer and not make you be a part of it. So there's this refund return administration fee, and for Amazon sellers, that is the lesser of $5 or 20% of whatever the commission was. So it's not that much. Like, I sell something and it has a $4 $10 commission on it, then the refund commission fee, the administration fee is only going to be 20% of that. The maximum you'll pay there is $5. So that's the least of your concerns, really, right there. All right. Now, if you happen to be in a category, or regardless of the category, if you happen to have products that have exceptionally high return rates, then there's new in 2024 a return processing fee. Now that one really adds up, and it's hard to know how to judge that because it's based on the category that you're selling in. Okay. And it ranges for as low as like almost 3%, like 2.9% in the grocery category is the fee, all the way to like 12.8, almost 13% for things like backpacks, luggage bags. And what this means is Amazon, depending on the category that your product is in, they take the number of units that have shipped in a given month and then the number of units that got returned in a given month. And if those number of units, if the return rate percentage exceeds that threshold for the given category, then any units above that threshold, you have to pay this return processing fee, refund processing fee, which actually starts really adding up. So you definitely want to maintain a lower number of returns to not exceed that. Watch that carefully. But in the end, there's one thing that you can do to save a lot. And it really adds up. But this is only really for items that are lower value items, lower cost items, or items that honestly you have no interest in refurbishing or trying to resell or get back. And that is the Amazon Returnless Resolutions, okay? Where you can basically say, hey, we're gonna be able to just give the refund to the customer with no return required. I don't want this widget returned. I don't want them to send it back to Amazon. I don't want them to send it back to me at all, okay? Amazon has a way of doing this, and when that happens, all of a sudden now you're saving yourselves. Like with one of my products, for example, it has a decent return rate, and every time the shipping label's about $4.50, right? And the product itself doesn't cost me $4.50, right? So it's more efficient and cost saving for me for them just discard it, to throw it away, than for me to have to pay $4.50 return postage for them to send it back to me when I'm going to refund them and throw it in the trash. All right. So let's go through that. If you get in your Seller Central account, you want to go to your Seller Central account like I have here and go into your settings. Go to settings and go to return settings, and then go to manage return templates. And when you do that, you want to go over to download template. You want to choose Returnless Resolutions and click on download template. And it's going to download and it's going to open a template that looks like this. All right. Now, again, you only want to do this with select SKU. But if you have a SKU that doesn't cost a whole lot of money, you know, if it's a product you're selling that has, let's say less than $10, or something that you can't, let's say you're selling undergarments, underwear, something like that. And if somebody returns it, you're never going to resell it anyway, right? There's no value to it. So why waste the money on return postage? You simply enter in your SKU, nasty underwear -XXXXXL. And then under prepaid label, you say, no, there's not a prepaid label. Why are we not providing a prepaid label? Because we have a returnless resolution. And then over here in the comments, we'll say item cost less than cost of return postage. Or we say item will be discarded. There's no right or wrong answer here. What you do, you save that as a text file, and then you just come back up here and you select the file and you upload it right away up to Amazon, and boom, it's done. You don't have to do it anymore, have to deal with it anymore, all right? And so in doing that, think about how much money you can save. It adds up. I mean, I've calculated I've saved over $1,000 in return postage in a month with one specific SKU. This does a high volume of sales, yet it also has a pretty high volume of returns. And a product that cost me $4, or I want to say it cost me $5, something like $5.25 landed, to pay $4.50 or $5 to have it returned to me. And then on top of that, all the other things. And I got to deal with it. I got the labor of having the UPS guy or the USPS guy come into my office every day with 15 boxes. Somebody's got to open those boxes, figure out what's in those boxes, what's salvageable, what's not. There's labor, there's cost, there's time, there's money involved in that. It's not necessary. So We've gone over the fees. You can't get away from these fees, but the one fee you can get away from is that return postage, all right? If it's an item that qualifies. If you haven't checked that out yet, go in there to your return settings, download the Returnless Resolution spreadsheet, fill it out with the SKU that you don't care about having a refund, a return. You don't care about getting that product back, save your money on return shipping. You can thank me for that tip by subscribing to this channel. I end every video by thanking you for watching and asking that you would please consider subscribing to eComCatalyst YouTube channel. Also, I'm inviting you to come to eComCatalyst.com and signing up for our new newsletter. I'm just launching this right now. It's like the fall of 2024. Again, as I said, we own an agency, so we're in and out of all these client accounts every day. We see all kind of stuff, all right? Number two, we're networking constantly through message boards, through LinkedIn. We're going to conferences. We're spending one-on-one time with Amazon executives and third-party vendors. And then finally, we're also sellers, 20 years, 2 decades worth. We know a thing or two, all right? So every Friday, I'm sending out this quick little newsletter from eComCatalyst, giving you kind of the bullet points of the week, what we've learned, what we're seeing, something you should know about, software, maybe a tool that you need to know about, something new that Amazon's announced. It's just once a week. We're going to zip that thing out to you. It's going to bring value to you as an e-commerce seller. So jump over to eComCatalyst.com, sign up for that newsletter. There's a link in the video description here. Love to have you. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you soon.